Nathan Saliba, the young Canadian midfielder, might just be the next CF Montreal Canadian gem, as Nathan Saliba has started to attract interest from multiple sides across top European leagues in the past couple of weeks, such as the Belgian First Division in the Jupiler Pro League and as well as the Scottish Premiership, two leagues that are well established at developing top talent throughout the world of football. Both leagues would be great landing spots for the young Canadian, but which one would be ideal for Nathan Saliba? With plenty of Canadians who have previously made a move to either Belgium or Scotland from the MLS and all succeeded, it is very hard to argue against a move to either of those two great leagues for Nathan Saliba. But to me, there is one that does stand out clearly, which for me is the Belgian Jupiler Pro League, and there is so many reasons why. The Belgian First Division, better known as the Jupiler Pro League, has developed some of the world's best footballers. You would have to absolutely be living under a rock to not know some of the players from the Belgian Jupiler Pro League, especially as a Canadian football fan. Just looking at Canadians alone who have come through the Jupiler Pro League in Belgium, such as the likes of Ike Ugbo, Tajon Buchanan, who made that move from New England Revolution, and the biggest of all in Jonathan David. All three of those Canadians are currently playing in top levels of the world of football and even still playing in Belgium in terms of Tajon Buchanan. And with Nathan Saliba having an extremely high ceiling, I think following in the footsteps of Tajon Buchanan, who made that massive move from New England to Club Brugge, would be a huge step in the right direction and would get the most out of Nathan Saliba. And my choice of Belgium over Scotland isn't purely based on Canadian exports thriving after leaving the league or still currently in the league in terms of Tajon Buchanan. It is also massively down to the pure top quality of clubs throughout the entirety of the Belgian Jupiler Pro League compared to the Scottish Premiership. If you compare and look at them both, Belgium has some brilliant clubs who always tend to have an incredible European run in them, no matter which competition it might happen to be in. From top sides such as Club Brugge, where Tajon Buchanan currently provides, or the likes of Ghent, Union Saint-Gilloise, Anderlecht, Royal Antwerp, and even Genk, among many more. And any of these clubs at any given time can make a run within Europe and has a chance of even winning the Belgian league and always tend to produce top talent. But when you look at the likes of Scotland, who really only have two frontrunners in the likes of Celtic and Rangers, sides that produce great talent but of recent years can never produce anything even in European competitions, especially Celtic, who haven't gotten out of the group stage in the Champions League since 2017, while on the other hand, Rangers have had some incredible runs in the Europa League of late, but nothing really in the Champions League. So looking at the clubs comparing in both leagues, Belgium by far leads the race, as they have so many top clubs with Club Brugge, Ghent, Genk, USG, and they are some great clubs, which I would love to see any young Canadian make the move to, especially Nathan Saliba. But if Nathan Saliba was able to get a transfer to any of those top sides within Belgium, it would be a statement for the young Canadian. But even if he only managed a transfer to a mid-table club in the Jupiler Pro League, getting starting minutes would do a world of good for his potential and his incredibly high ceiling, and a young footballer with such a great potential, as the mid-table league in Belgium is just miles ahead of Scotland, which we have seen throughout the years, and of course the coefficient table, with Belgian Jupiler Pro League sitting in 8th for coefficient, which is 2 spots above the Scottish Premiership, which currently sits and provides in 10th spot within the European coefficient rankings in the worldwide league rankings, which is a bit of a statement. It's only 2 places higher, but when you look at those clubs, when you look at the teams, it really does leave such much more of a mark for a place for Nathan Saliba to go, especially looking at that mid-table ranking between Scotland and Belgium for clubs. But going to Belgium would also help with the transition of settling in a new country and a new league, especially a new club. Making that huge transfer is a big change and a shock to a young footballer. And making that transition to a country like Belgium as well with the language barrier. Nathan Saliba would be leaving a city in Montreal that is French-speaking, of course, with Quebec, joining a country such as Belgium, which has an official language of French, makes the transition of moving to a top league in Europe all but easier for the young Canadian. And a huge example of this in the world of football is quite clearly within Brazilian footballers. When Brazilian footballers tend to leave their home country, they quite often make a move to Liga NOS or Liga Portugal and head over to the Portuguese first tier, whether that's to Benfica or just mid-tier teams within Liga NOS. As you see that transition, so much easier for a Brazilian footballer or a young Brazilian talent making that huge move. And getting to make that move, having spoken Portuguese in their native language at home in Brazil and switching to Portugal makes that move all but easier for a young footballer trying to make a massive switch. Why I think Nathan Saliba moving from Montreal to a place like Belgium would massively help him. Not saying Scotland, of course, would be completely different because he is English speaking as well, would be moving to a somewhat English speaking country, I guess, in Scotland, a bit of a different English, but it's all the same. But it would be a very good transfer going to Belgium, and that language barrier would be very good for Nathan Saliba. But like I said, guys, Nathan Saliba has an extremely high ceiling, and his current ability and skill is a sight to see. Of course, Montreal didn't make the playoffs along with another Canadian team in Toronto FC. As well, Vancouver Whitecaps are currently on the brink against LAFC. But Saliba's debut season in the MLS this year has been nothing short of brilliant for the young 19-year-old attacking-minded midfielder. With Nathan Saliba currently starting 16 matches this season, at the time of recording, while also taking part in 24 matches, tallying 1,422 minutes across the season. It's been incredible to see Saliba grow into the season with CF Montreal. I know a lot of Canadian fans like myself thought maybe Sean Arreo was going to be that breakout player at number 10, but under Losada, it's turned out to be Nathan Saliba. And even though the young Canadian has yet to get a goal contribution, it is nothing to look down at in his debut season. For me, Nathan Saliba should be knocking at the door of the CanMNT call-up, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Should he go to Belgium? Should he go to Scotland? These reports came out a couple of weeks ago, and I finally had the chance to make a more in-depth video on it, make a great really breakdown of this deal and give you guys my thoughts. And I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down below in the comments on your thoughts on Nathan Saliba and where he might go and where you guys would like to see him go, and of course the most ideal landing spot for him. Drop a comment down below. Make sure to hit that sub button, guys. We're so close to 200 subscribers, but of course hit that like button because it really helps out the video, guys, and I really appreciate all the love and support on the channel. And we're going to be pushing for so much more content here right now in the coming week. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down below, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.